Hello, and welcome back to my channel. So I've been thinking about this topic for almost a year now. I was thinking about it when I did my moral greatness of celebrity lookalikes, if that's what it's called, video, where I was like, ooh, instead of people who look like celebrities, I want to talk about the wax figures that sometimes do, sometimes don't look like the celebrities. And honestly, I just want to talk about wax figures because I have seen so many bad ones. So of course, as I always do, I'm going to give you a very brief little backstory history on celebrity wax figures, the concept, where they came from. And then of course, we're going to look at we're going to talk about some good ones, some bad ones, some ugly ones, the wax figures, not the people they're depicting. But before we do, let's go ahead and take a word from today's sponsor, Parade. I am so excited to get to talk to y'all today about Parade because they have introduced me to my new favorite bra. And I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate, but I'm the type of girl who I'll just have bras for forever. They're all stretched out and busted, not really doing their job anymore, but I'm going to try and convince myself that they are. That way I don't have to buy any new ones. I don't know if this makes sense, but a lot of the times I want a bra that doesn't necessarily feel like a bra. As in, I know I'm wearing it, but I don't want to feel constricted by it and be reminded that I'm wearing it all day. And I also wanted something softer and a bit more breathable, and that is where these Lush Sculpt bras come in, and I specifically went for the plunge neckline ones. They're just so stretchy and soft, but they also snap back and retain their shape really well and just feel super lightweight. And I think my favorite thing about them is I can wear them under almost any type of top, specifically a V-neck. And they also don't bunch up or slide up, and if you're wearing something more form-fitting, you're not going to have the hooks, the wires, the metal, the bands sticking out of your bra and bulging out, and you're also just not going to have a noticeable bra line, which is something that I really don't like when I'm wearing bras because I kind of feel like it ruins the look. And they don't need to be adjusted. No metal, just fabric. And more specifically, I am in love with the Lush Rib, which not only hugs the body well, but also, fun fact, it's made from trees and actually uses 97% less water than traditional cotton, so comfortable and sustainable. And you guys know that I love to wear a crop t-shirt because I wear one almost every other video. And an issue I have with a lot of bras is that as soon as, like I said earlier, as soon as I lift my arms up, the bra is longer than the shirt. All right, so let's do a little demo. This is my Parade bra. And look, hands up. Ooh, you do not see it. And my retired bra is definitely a little bunched around the armpits and stretched and pulled. Yes, I was really walking around like this. And let's do a little arm reach test. And you can see it, you can see it. So of course I had to get more than one, and I really love darker colors or neutrals for my underwear, so I went for 8 Ball, Potion, and Pony. Really love those names. And like I said at the beginning, part of the reason that I'm always hesitant to replace my bras, even if, ooh, I need it, is the price. But I got y'all because y'all can use my code NAOMI40 for 40% off site-wide with no minimum purchase. And you do not want to wait because not only are styles selling out quickly, but also specific colors, and you want to make sure that you get exactly what you want. And so again, you can use my code NAOMI40 for 40% off site-wide. And I want to give a huge thank you to Parade for sponsoring today's video. And now let's go ahead and get back into it. Wax figures and portraits aren't anything new and have actually been around for thousands of years. In some cases, they were used to create models for medical purposes, and in others, they were used as a way to draft or practice a sculpture. And these types of wax models became especially popular in the 18th century due to a name that you probably recognize, Marie Tussaud. She was known prior to the French Revolution for her accurate wax figures of people living or dead, and after made wax death masks of Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI. After the French Revolution, she inherited the wax exhibition of her mentor, and for decades, Marie Tussaud and later eventually her sons toured the exhibition, mostly of wax figures of nobility, like I said, living or dead, along with some relics from the French Revolution. The exhibition became especially popular because of its Chamber of Horrors, which contained waxworks of more controversial or unsavory people. For example, these would be murderers, even serial killers, or executed politicians, and the room had a working guillotine in it. In the 1900s, it was even common to rent these wax figures out and have them attend events as so-called special guests. In 1920, the wax figure of murderer and burglar Charles Peace was rented from Madame Tussauds to serve as the honorary president of a meeting of the crime club. Wax figures of murderers and other criminals were so popular that employees from Madame Tussauds would attend trials to sketch the accused, so hopefully they could have the wax figure created in time for their conviction, if not their execution. And unfortunately, due to a fire in the 1920s and the site being bombed in World War II, many of the original wax molds have been lost to time. At this point, the majority of the molds were of royalty, nobility, or other political figures, and in other cases, they were well-known artists or art critics. It isn't until the 1970s that Madame Tussauds opens a second location, and throughout the rest of the century, more locations open up, and currently there are 23 around the world. And while they're not the only ones in the wax figure business or industry, they're definitely the best known. In regards to Madame Tussauds, eventually the transition was made to depicting celebrities too, in addition to their normal roster of wax figures, likely as the concept of celebrity itself became more popular. And nowadays, beyond them being used for either artistic or educational purposes, often these wax figures, especially the ones of celebrities and entertainers, are just popular as an attraction or form of entertainment. Meaning, we're not trying to get up close and personal with this criminal we've just heard of, or eager to see the face of a queen, or as close as possible that we've likely never seen, say, a portrait of when they were living. Now we just kind of like to see how close they can get to the actual person, and we like to laugh if they're far off. I would assume that now we're more critical of wax figures than before, simply because we see way more photos or videos of the person they're meant to depict, so it's easier for us to judge. Now, because technology is better, some of the wax figures actually get very close to the actual person, but still, when they're bad, they're terrible. And on average, it costs Madame Tussauds about $300,000 to make a wax figure. The subject or their estate doesn't have to pay for it, nor do they get paid by Madame Tussauds. It's just mostly an honorific thing that Madame Tussauds does, and mutually beneficial if you're poppin', and therefore people want to come to Madame Tussauds to see your wax figure. And fun fact, I did not know this before, but for Madame Tussauds at least now, the entire wax figure isn't wax, just the head is. The head is made of clay, and then a plaster cast is made, and the wax is poured into that. And the head itself can take about 6 weeks to make. The body is still a sculpture, but it's made mostly of fiberglass. And several measurements and facial scans are taken to get the wax figure as accurate as possible, and even depict the muscles in the person's face accurately to whatever pose that they're doing. There's also a painstaking effort to add undertones to the skin so it looks like the person actually has blood in their veins, and making the skin look more accurate to the real person instead of making them look more like waxy, even though it's a wax figure. And the eyes are made of resin and then hand painted, and typically it takes about 14 hours just to get those right. And then the hair is applied to the head in individual strands. And at Madame Tussauds, they also take teeth impressions of the celebrity if they can. So from start to finish, this process can take about 3 to 4 months on average, with a team of up to 20 artists working on them. And there are cases, of course, where wax figures are made of people after their passing. A relatively recent example is the Selena wax figure revealed in 2016, made by Madame Tussauds as a result of a popular Change.org petition. A lot of people are upset because it doesn't look just like her, especially to the extent that you would think is possible nowadays. Selena's sister Suzette noted this was because they couldn't do any of the facial scans of Selena they would have done for living subjects, so instead they had to recreate her likeness all from existing photos and videos they had of her. I would also assume this is the reason that she's not smiling, because it may have been too difficult to recreate her iconic smile in a believable way without being able to mold her teeth and having only 20-something-year-old photos and videos to go off of. And this sucks, because when you think of Selena or see pictures of her, she's almost always smiling. So that's almost as much, if not exactly as much, a part of her imagery as the red lipstick, the bustiers, the hairstyles. And I found another Selena wax figure, which is not created by Madame Tussauds, where she is smiling, and the teeth do look a little off. Like, they look fine as far as teeth go, but they just don't look like Selena's teeth. And now with this conversation of all these celebrities getting veneers, I think we do realize how much teeth can make or break a face, or just how much personality having your own unique teeth do add to your face. Madame Tussauds' Selena wax figure took about 8 months, almost double the norm, likely because she's not alive. Something else unique about this wax figure, and the replica made about a year later, is that the clothes she's wearing are recreations. Usually, if they can, the celebrity or subject or their estate will loan their own clothes to Madame Tussauds, since their wax figure is made to have their exact measurements anyway. Technically, they do make the wax figures like 2% bigger because they melt a tiny bit during their creation, but when all is said and done, they're meant to be the same size as the subject. The outfit for Selena's wax figure is a recreation of what she wore in 1993 during the concert at which her Grammy-winning live album was recorded. However, from the head up, it looks like to me that this picture was used more so for inspiration. And it makes sense because it's a really clear head-on photo of her. Initially, Selena's mom wanted to recreate the white gown look she's wearing when she actually won the Grammy, but due to copyright, the actual Grammy can't be recreated, and that's a big part of the look. And though a lot of fans feel that Madame Tussauds wax figures could be more accurate to Selena, her family have said that they're happy with them. And if you think this is bad, we will definitely look at one that's worse later. Something I found interesting is that it's apparently easier to make a convincing wax figure of an older person, typically because they have more wrinkles and more texture on their face to depict. And adding that in makes it easier for the wax figure's skin to look like actual skin rather than just smooth, shiny, plasticky wax. The Guardian also noticed something that I'd never thought about, saying, modern trends may be working in Madame Tussauds' favor, as celebrities turn ever more plasticky with their Botox and botched surgery, so the waxworks look ever more real. Also, because of this cosmetic work, aside from things like new haircuts, tattoos, and aging, Madame Tussauds often remakes their wax figures altogether for their more popular subjects rather than just tweaking them. And to maintain the wax figures, employees at Madame Tussauds actually do their hair and makeup regularly because it does get messed up because guests are allowed to kiss and touch them. And at the London location, apparently Ollie Murs is one of the most kissed wax figures, with one of the employees saying it's basically a full-time job to wipe lipstick off of his face. And when the wax figures are remade or just retired in general, they're not melted down. At least Madame Tussauds doesn't melt theirs. They claim that they never melt their wax figures, they just archive them. And often the decision to archive a wax figure is as simple as the celebrity landscape changing, so a lot of the wax figures that are related to entertainment and pop culture rotate more frequently than those of historical figures. I was wondering if the celebrity or a subject of the wax figure ever gets the opportunity to buy theirs after it's taken off the floor, or at least get it on loan from the Madame Tussauds archive. I couldn't find any cases where they did, so maybe they just don't want them or can't have them. And though they don't pay for them, I've also always wondered if any celebs go to Madame Tussauds and get mad that their wax figure is bad. Or not mad, but are definitely underwhelmed and not impressed. I could only find Ariana Grande not being impressed with one, which I will talk about later. So I do assume that for the most part, if they hate it, they just don't say anything or just don't attend the unveiling. Okay, actually I did find another one from last October, and now that I'm looking at this, I actually remember seeing this on social media. I guess my brain protected me and like erased the memory. But this is Lil Wayne. He looks like someone's evil little brother, and he did not like this either. And he was kind of like, sorry Wax Museum, like y'all tried, but this ain't it. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at some wax figures. All right, portion of the video that you all have been waiting for. Maybe none of you, some of you, who knows? But we're gonna look at some of these wax figures. I picked some questionable ones. I picked some amazing ones. I picked some decent ones. But before we do, let me give a little disclaimer. Just because I think the wax figure is ugly does not mean I think the person is depicting as ugly. I'm not talking about the person. I'm talking about the wax figure. So let's go ahead and get into them. All right, so first one, they're telling me this is Harry Styles. I mean, okay, if my life depended on it, I could say that this was Harry Styles. The outfit is helping, the tats are helping, because to me, this is a well-executed wax figure of Kevin Bacon. Also, I'm so sorry, I went to a birthday party days ago and lost my voice, and it still hasn't come back, but the show must go on. I tried to wait, but yeah, we just gonna have to rock with it. It's just crazy to me how much a facial expression, how much movement can make a person make a wax figure, because it's not ugly, it doesn't look terrible, but I think it just doesn't give Harry to me because it just looks so stiff. Like, we need some action, we need some motion. But yeah, this one is good. Like, obviously it's Harry Styles, but it's just crazy how like the smallest feature, smallest tweak, like it feels like something is off. I can't tell you what it is because obviously it looks like him, but in a bit it doesn't. But it's not the worst we're gonna look at today. I would say it's one of the better ones actually. And that was Madame Tussauds, by the way, so I'm gonna assume that they got some help from him. Maybe he came in to help do it. But yeah, like I said, it's not terrible, but it's giving Kevin Bacon. If it was Kevin Bacon, they would have ate that up. No pun intended. Up next, we have the bad Selena that I mentioned earlier. This one is breaking my heart. First of all, let's get this out of the way. Why is the Astrodome outfit pink? I know there's some debate. Is it purple? Is it burgundy? Sometimes you will see both in costumes. I think in real life it's like a mix between purple and burgundy. It damn sure is not Juicy Couture velour suit pink. And she is standing there shy, like, Victor, you did this? Like, I don't know why it reminds me of that. She's like, yeah, I just broke records at the Astrodome. Like, I know people are not fans of the Madame Tussauds ones. I don't think they're bad, but I can get why people think they look a little off. Like, there's something like the Harry Styles one. I was like, okay, I can tell that's meant to be Selena, obviously, but it's just slightly off. And I know these are hard to get perfect and accurate. And obviously, like I said earlier, Selena wasn't living. This one, though, I'm just like I can tell who it's meant to be, but I'm thinking if you wiped off the lipstick and took off the clothes and put it in a different outfit, would I know? I don't know. And also looking at this one, yeah, like I said, I can see why they chose not to make her smile, because it's just like, you know what, is this even a smile? Yeah, so not my fave. It's not a bad wax figure, I guess, as wax figures go, but it's not really giving Selena. And I have to giggle, I have to scream, I have to laugh. Someone who was not me, because I got the giant picture from a Reddit thread of people saying the wax figure didn't look good. Someone said it looked like B. Arthur from the Golden Girls, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. But if you remove the hair, I see it. And I'm not sure who made that wax figure, by the way, but I do know that it was displayed in San Antonio. Okay, this next one is Beyonce, obviously 2018 Coachella, Beachella outfit, costume, what have you. Not a terrible wax figure at all. But instead of Beyonce, you know who it looks like to me? It looks like Nick. I can't remember from what season of America's Next Top Model, but it was one of the earlier ones. Looks like Nick. I think she's one of the finalists. Beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful. Obviously, it looks like Beyonce, but I think what makes it look less like Beyonce is staring at the features. I think the nose, like the tip of the nose, is a little too pointy. I think Beyonce's is a little more rounded, possibly. Like I said with the other ones, not the Selena one, with the Harry Styles one, you can definitely tell who it's meant to be, but something just feels like a millimeter off. But that being said, clearly is Beyonce, clearly is Beachella. But yeah, maybe it's Nick. This is why I said it was good, because look at some of the other examples. Look at what it's up against. This is giving earlier Beyonce. I believe this is the Crazy in Love outfit. What is this? She better than me. Like me when I pretend to like something, me when I pretend to like something, because she's smiling, posing next to it. Body is angled away from it though. If they unveiled this in front of me, because it's like, you want to be grateful that you got a wax figure, but I would be shook. I'm screaming at the 2003 ass like wig hairline, because no matter who you were, no matter what you could afford, your wig had that crispy ass hairline back then. Okay, wait a minute. I'm looking at it more. Maybe the wig is throwing me off, because looking at the face of this wax figure compared to the previous one, I do think the face looks more accurate to Beyonce. I do think one thing that's throwing it off a little bit is like this, I'm in the weeds here. It's like the skin undertone. It feels more greenish than like goldish, like what Beyonce has. And so maybe that's making it look a little bit less like her, but I do think they got the nose more accurate to Beyonce's actual nose than the other one, surprisingly. Okay, I had to put this last one. I can't remember where it's from. The other one is from Madame Tussauds, by the way, the Crazy in Love one. I just have to say, if you have to put a name tag on the wax figure, you fucked it up. You already messed up. Like, tap out. And to me, to be honest, this doesn't really look like anybody that I know. But if I had to guess, if I had to give you somebody, it looks maybe like a little bit of Ashanti, like with the Mariah Carey 1997 hair. But it's not Beyonce. Obviously, she did not loan this outfit. I'm going to assume that this is not a Beyonce outfit. And that being said, y'all couldn't go to the mall and get something a little bit more Beyonce-esque. I'm assuming this might be at Niagara Falls based on the poster. I can't fully see in the background. Otherwise, I'm not sure where this was displayed. I have a theory. I'm like, maybe this was just a mannequin that they had for something else and they slapped a wig on it and they had their little Dymo label maker and like, just put Beyonce's name on there. People will think it's Beyonce, maybe. I don't. But yeah. This is wicked work. Looks kind of like a late 2000s prom dress that's a little bit too big for the mannequin wax figure, mixed with like one of those little boleros that you would put over your church dresses as a little kid. But yeah, to me, I'm assuming to y'all also, out of the three, this is the least good Beyonce wax figure, but I wanted to show multiple, and for some of these people, I do have multiple, so you can get a little sampler of the variation of wax figures out there. I'll be like, you think I look like this? Not to say that like it's an ugly wax figure, but it don't look like me. So up next we have, remember that time that I tried to say Ariana Grande and I said something like to the Dula Peep level where I was like Artie Grana or something crazy like that? That's who this is in this wax figure. This is not Ariana Grande. And it's recent too. Like I said, 2019, and you can see the thank you next conversation hearts in the background. So I'm like, y'all have the technology to do something better. I guess they were like, you know what, as long as we get the ponytail accurate, people will know who it is, because the ponytail and maybe the microphone, so I know that I'm supposed to be thinking about a singer. That's all that's saving it, because whose face is that? I feel like the most fun part of this is like trying to pick out which feature is off, because like I said, everything has to come together. Everything has to be in the right size, proportion, position to look like that person. And it's like, while none of these features are poorly constructed or out of proportion, they're not Ariana's proportions. I feel like the eyes are on. Like, the eyes look good. Actually, looking back at it, I think the hairline might be a little bit off, but the ponytail is right. We're in the weeds. But yeah, quite literally, thank you next, because we're going to look at one from 2021 that it looks more like her, but it still looks off to me. And the first thing, this is also Madame Tussauds, by the way, so I guess they're like, sorry, girl, we'll give you a redo. The lips first and foremost. I don't know if Ariana is a lip filler girly, but I don't think her lips have ever been filled to that extent. I feel like this nose looks more accurate to Ariana Grande, and flipping back and forth, I can't tell you what exactly is different, other than maybe that we're looking at it from a different angle, but this looks more like her nose. I think the hairline is more accurate to Ariana, or whether it's accurate to her or not, it just looks more like a natural hairline, because no one's hairline really is like thick. I feel like the eyebrows also look lighter, which makes it look more accurate to her. Overall, I would love to see someone like Photoshop the lips smaller, because maybe it will look more like her. Still, like I said, I think the lips are a little bit off, but out of the two, this is definitely the winner. Okay, Lil Nas X, Madame Tussauds. I feel like this was unveiled last year, and even from the moment I saw this, this is one of the best wax figures. I don't know, I paused like I said that wrong. This is one of the best wax figures that I have seen. Like, when I saw it, I was like, which one is Lil Nas X? And it's pretty rare that I'm like, which one's the wax figure? Which one's the actual person? And I was wrong a couple times. This one looks just like him. They got the undertones correct. They got the expression correct. I'm assuming you're seeing it for yourself right now, but it looks just like him. Yeah, they definitely casted those teeth because they look the exact same. He went in. I love this. And I like how, because it can be hard to get someone's smile correct, like I've been saying, because you can just have their teeth and then just do a smile, but it's like you have to do their smile because everyone does smile a little bit differently. Even the hands, like they got the, it looks like he's mid-conversation, looks like he's talking like he was just doing something. Like this looks like I just did like a little freeze frame of a photograph. And I think compared to the Harry Styles one that we looked at first, when I was saying it was very stiff, they got this like, I can't remember the actual art word for it where it looks like you were just in motion or just doing something. There's a word for that. But anyway, they got this just right. With the Lil Nas X one, I could talk about this one forever because it's one of the best wax figures that I've seen. But yes, top tier. I think this is my favorite that we're going to look at. Out of the good ones, because there's some favorites, but because they're bad. Okay, I played this game with myself, so I'm going to make you play it too. Who is this? Don't do anything other than drop your guess down below. Who do you think this is? Because I had guesses, but I was wrong. Allegedly, this is Lindsay Lohan. The best I was coming up with was damn Amy Poehler. How, like, it's Lindsay Lohan. They ran out of red wigs. Again, not sure who made this, but clearly they ain't never seen Freaky Friday. This is freaky though. There's not a freckle in sight. I think even with the red hair, I don't know if this would give Lindsay. Actually, maybe they made it blonde because she had a blonde era back then, but while that's true, while that's accurate, I guess I can't fight against it. If I like Lindsay Lohan to red hair, that is iconic. And it's like, I think she switched her hair color a few times, but you know her for your red hair. And it's like, if you're going to depict somebody, make a statue of them, I think you would go for what they typically look like or what they're known for looking like. Another thing that I'm thinking is like, maybe this is accurate to her face, but the styling is completely off, because I looked up some pictures of Lindsay Lohan. Like, you know, I'm going to assume this is meant to be like 2000s Lindsay Lohan, where I'm like, okay, maybe I can see the face shape a little bit more. I think the eyebrows need to be raised a little bit. Like her eyes and eyebrows are close, but they're not that close. She's always got some sort of winged eyeliner or smoky eye. So I'm like, maybe if you gave her red hair and some freckles and maybe a little bit more of a distinct lip and actually did the makeup and styled the mannequin, the wax figure, excuse me, the way that Lindsay Lohan would have styled herself back then, maybe you could sell it a little bit more. But still, like, this is giving, I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom. And it's like, Lindsay was there. She was in Mean Girls. That just don't look like her. Kind of wanted to give y'all a jump scare warning, but I thought some of y'all would take it the wrong way. But are you calling her ugly? And it's like, no, I'm just saying this particular wax figure is fear-inducing. It's from Madame Tussauds, New York. This is Taylor Swift. And at first I was like, this is awful, this is terrible. But like looking at the actual face of the wax figure, it's not that bad, and it does look like Taylor facially, feature-wise. Whoever put the eye makeup on it needs to be fired, because I feel like this is part of where they ruined it. Like the crazy lashes and all of that. Like it kind of makes her look like Annabelle rather than Taylor Swift. Also the wig. I kind of wonder when they started actually individually inserting the hairs into the wax figure's head rather than the wigs. And it's like, maybe this could be individually placed hairs, but then you made it all thick and blunt so it looks like a wig. I feel like this was probably a really decent wax figure base. And then whoever's job it was to like style it, add the makeup and the hair, they kind of... This one's Madame Tussauds Hollywood, and I'm going to assume this one is a little bit more recent than the previous one. From this first picture, I was like, oh, this is an excellent one. Like, to me, this looks like Taylor just standing there taking a picture, so it looks really good. But then zooming in on the face a little bit more, I do not know what is off about this, because it looks like Taylor Swift. It looks a lot like Taylor Swift, but something about it is off to me. I feel like maybe the eyes are like slightly too big. But yeah, I do think it was better than the first one. The first one, like I said, it was giving Annabelle. All right, next one. Yeah, speaking of wigs, I'm tempted to be like, oh, no, what's her name? Because this is not giving Rihanna. This is not giving Rihanna, even though it's definitely Rihanna, obviously Rihanna. I feel like the makeup is a big thing that's off. I feel like the nose is off. It's close, but I think it's off. And I was trying to find a picture of Rihanna wearing this outfit because I assumed it was something that she had worn before. And since it's Madame Tussauds, the Vegas location. But anyway, I was looking to see like what makeup look she wore with the outfit to see if this was an actual makeup look of hers that she's done. And while I feel like she's done some similar makeup looks, especially like in this Loud era, I don't know if it looked just like this, which is what's throwing it off. You know, maybe I'm being a little bit of a hater, but it's just not giving to me. And I feel like part of what it is like I don't feel Rihanna's essence in this. I don't feel her energy in this. And I do think that's kind of important to the wax figures, like I've been mentioning before. This girl seems scared. Like, this is not giving bad gal. This is not giving bad gal Riri. This girl gives, what? I have 5 more minutes and my set is over. I have 3 more songs. Like, this just looks like she's confused, so to speak. So yeah, maybe I could see some people liking this one, but it's not doing it for me. Okay, similar to the Lil Nas X one, this is another one of my faves. No notes, no notes, no notes. And I love how they did a little avant-garde touch and had it spelled Missy out with the braids. I really do like that. But yes, like I was saying, similar to the Lil Nas X one, expression is on point. Like, they're even making the same expression, same makeup. I know Missy went in and did some scans. Let them do whatever they used to do to get this as accurate as possible. And I like that exact same pose. Like, they did their homework. And I love how it has motion. It has life. It looks like she just exhaled a little bit. Like, up close, this looks like I'm showing you a picture of 2 twins rather than a person and then the wax figure that was modeled after them. Like, we know it's a wax figure, so I know someone's gonna be like, it couldn't have fooled me. It looks fake as hell. But I'm like, this is on point. This is accurate. I love it. So according to Madame Tussauds, this is Robert Pattinson. I feel like with some of these bad ones, actually what I've noticed is they will take a feature that is accurate to the person, but just exaggerate it to the point of where they're like butchering it and it doesn't look like them. Like, yes, he has a very prominent brow bone, but not to that extent. So now it doesn't even look like him. I hope Robert Pattinson has seen this wax figure. I could not find like his response on it, so I'm gonna have to look. But you know he's not afraid to tell you if he hates something, whether it's a project he's been in, whether it's something like this. So I know if he's seen this, he's got some choice words, because boy, is this terrible. Update: he does not like it, as I suspected, and he actually thinks it looks like Hugh Jackman. Also, the lips. Like, why they give him a syringe of Juvederm? His lips do not look like that. Like, they just say, you know what, give him a pout. Shit. I was gonna try and give him something and be like, you know, maybe this looks kind of like evil Patrick Swayze. But I'm like, actually, this don't look like anybody. It kind of gives him some Squidward. Because, you know, we do know Robert Pattinson has a jawline, but, like, not to this extent. They just blew him up, injected him. And, yeah, this is not good. This is not good. I don't think I have more to say. Okay, so this one is from the Dreamland Wax Museum in Boston. This is meant to be Princess Diana. To me, it looks like Mrs. Doubtfire with just like a modern wig on. This does not look like her one bit. One Piece. I feel like if this was in an English wax museum, it would be like treason of some sort, because what? And I know, I will give them this. Like I've said, I'm well aware that it's much harder to make a wax figure when all you have are like photos and videos. And similar to Selena, Princess Diana, someone who passed away in the later 90s. So even the photos and videos of them that are out there aren't necessarily, even though they're decent quality, there's a lot of them, they're not to the quality of like the photos that you and I, or videos that you and I would take today. This is one that Madame Tussauds London did, because, you know, like, don't put us in this tower, we're gonna make a good one. To me, this one looks more like her than the previous one. It's not perfect, it's not spot on, but you can tell exactly who this is meant to be. This is Princess Diana. Also, they got her nose correct. The first one's nose, I'm not sure whose nose that was, but this is Princess Diana's nose. And noses are a big part of this, because noses are a big part of your face. Okay, this next one, I think all of these are handmade by the same person, and they are put inside of a Brazilian church. And there is like this older senior gentleman, I think his name is Arlindo, who makes these. So not too much on Arlindo, but we gotta be honest. Because could I make a wax figure from hand better than this? No, but does this look like Princess Diana? Also no. You know, like when you tell a kid to smile and they don't actually smile, they just show their teeth. So you're like, smile, and they're like, that's what this is giving. Yeah, let's look at another one from Arlindo and see what he's cooking with. So this is like Marilyn Monroe with her jaw wired shut, I'm assuming. To me, my first thought when I saw this is, remember that meme where someone was like, bad baby, I drew a picture of you, do you like it? And it didn't look anything like her and it wasn't good. And she was like, I do not, but I F with you for trying. This is me at Arlindo. Like, it doesn't look like these people. I can tell who it is because of the costume. A lot of effort goes into this, and you know what? Participation trophy, participation trophy. Okay, this was meant to be Justin Bieber. I'm not sure who made this. I don't like this one at all because it looks like an actual corpse. Like the eyes are off, nose is off. I'm not sure if his eyebrows look like that for real, but I'm gonna assume that they don't. It's very shiny. It looks like his face has a bunch of filler in it, and it's a wax figure. Okay, this is the most recent one Madame Tussauds did for his birthday, I think. I think they unveiled this just a week ago or within like the past couple weeks. To me, and I saw other people saying this on the internet, like, I don't know why. This one looks better than the last one, obviously. I can tell who it's meant to be, but something is still off. Like, some people are saying it looks like David Beckham. I can see that a little bit. I think it's mostly the eyes that have people saying that, and I do think the eyes are off, and I think the nose is off a little. So I'm like, yeah, this looks more like Justin Bieber than the previous one, but it's still not fully Justin Bieber. Well, it's a wax figure, but you know what I'm saying. I will say in general, it is a good wax figure because the facial hair and the skin, like it looks like he's actually blushing, like this person has some blood in their body and under their skin. So while I'm not like, oh, carbon copy of Bieber, I think it's a well done wax figure of somebody. Okay, Zendaya apparently is the wax figure queen because she's got quite a few. I believe this first one is Madame Tussauds. This one to me is like one of the biggest like Uncanny Valley ones because I feel like I was just trying to be contrarian if I was like, this does not look like Zendaya. But as someone who's seen hella pictures of Zendaya, I'm just like, it's a little off. Like, pose is on point. I've definitely seen her make this expression. Like, the makeup looks good. But something about it is like, it's just so uncanny. Kind of like the little Polar Express girl. Like, she freaks me out. Like, so then these are two of her other ones at Madame Tussauds. I do not think that the one on the left is the same one that I showed you with the pink suit. I think the one on the right looks more like her than the one on the left. I'm trying to think like what feels off, because still I'm going to show you one more that's neither of these that looks even more like her. This is the one that I personally think is the best, and this one is from Madame Tussauds Amsterdam, and they had it in the Wax Museum, but I think they also brought it out, well, not think, I'm looking at the pictures. They also brought it out in public and posed at the bus stop and let people take pictures with it. But this one to me is my favorite. It's the best to me. It's recreating, I want to say 2019, but definitely one of her Emmys looks. The pose looks amazing. This just feels like Zendaya's mannerisms. It feels like her essence. Again, we have that little sort of pucker smirk. Like, she really does make that face, which is why they're doing it on the wax figures. Like, if I was Zendaya and if I could, I would buy this or, you know, get it on loan or whatever, and I would change the clothes into something like more casual somehow and just prop it on my sofa, on my furniture, and whenever someone comes over to visit, it will just be this Sky Jackson meme. I'm just sitting on my couch and they're like, hey, Zendaya. And then Zendaya doesn't talk back because boop, it's my wax figure. Yeah, this is my favorite of the Zendayas, of the Zendaya wax figures. And last but not least, we have Miss Dula Peep, Miss Dupa Lupa, Miss Disco Lipa, Miss Dua Lipa. Looks like self-titled era. I feel like this wax figure looks like her, but I cannot get over how scared it looks. Like, it's not even a human being, and it looks like it's fearing for its life. I feel like the lips might be a little bit small too. I feel like that's throwing it off, especially in the second picture. But yeah, I do not think this is a bad one. The facial expression is just taking me out. But yeah, I don't think this is a bad one. Madame Tussauds made this one, by the way. Not sure which Madame Tussauds location, but this one is specifically Madame Tussauds, New York. And obviously this is from future nostalgia era. There's still a fear in her eyes. She still looks unsettled. I'm gonna have to go back and look at some Dua Lipa pictures, but she always looks at ease for the most part to me. Like, up close, I do actually kind of feel like this is the better of the two, but Lord Jesus, Lord, like, rest. It looks like they have seen something. I don't know, maybe the museum gets crazy at night. We've seen, what is that movie? Oh my God, Night at the Museum. But yeah, I want the Dua wax figures to take a deep breath. I want them to know that everything is gonna be okay. All right, those are my takes. Those are my thoughts on the wax figures and just a little history for you that I did. That way we could contextualize everything and then look at the wax figures and talk a little bit of shit and joke. And also we looked at some good ones because yes, when they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they're worse. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your feelings. And also let me leave you with a question. Are you afraid of wax figures? Because I know that some people are because of the whole Uncanny Valley situation, uncanny thing. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on the wax figures discussed in the video. Of course you will. Let me know your thoughts on wax figures in general. Are they fun to look at for you? Does it depend on the person? Are they not your jam? Let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can stick around for more. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter if you want to keep up with me there. And if you'd like to become a channel member and get early access to videos, the link is in the description. Again, thank you so much for watching. I love you all so very much, and we'll see you so very soon. Bye-bye.